Right now, detectives have served a search warrant. We're beginning to process the crime scene as we stand here, and we've also canvassed the area.
All right. What did the inside of that house look like? Did it look like it was okay except for the people, or did it look somewhat disheveled and tossed?
You know, those are some of the things that we're trying to figure out right now. I mean, there's no signs of forced entry at this point. The house looks like it was in general disarray. It looks as if that would be some of the common things that you would see in this type of a home.
All right. Family members showed up and discovered this scene?
That's correct. It's my understanding that one of the daughters of the elderly female and the elderly gentleman actually showed up, and she had someone else call 911.
And would this just been a regular Sunday morning visit, or there had been a ringing phone and nobody answered? Why'd she show up?
Now, it does appear that they do have visits that usually they only go without a day or two of not visiting and or talking. So that I'm not sure of at this time.
So she might have been showing up just because it's Sunday to take them coffee, or she may have had some concerns. We just don't know what that is.
That's correct. Not at this time.
What would be in this house that would be worth breaking in to steal?
Well, I mean, just like anybody else's house, you know, at this point, we're still trying to process. We're not sure what's all in that home at this point, but, you know, there could be anything in there. I don't know what kind of valuables or collectibles that they might have, or if they even have any cash in there just yet.
Did the family mention that they noticed if anything was missing?
No, the family has not mentioned that.
What about
What
guns
have you
in
learned
that
since
house?
you've been able to go inside the house?
Yeah, so what I can tell you about what we've learned since we've been inside the house is that, again, we believe that there has at least been one shot fired, okay? What I can tell you is that we only have one person that's deceased. At this time, the coroner's on the scene with us, and as I said, we are just now beginning to start our processing. Now, what that means is that we're always going to go towards the most relevant evidence right away, okay? The house is in somewhat disarray, but that looks to be normal for the home. We don't know if anything's missing, but it doesn't appear to be. There appears to be certain valuables that are right there in eye's view that nothing has been taken. So that's what I can tell you so far.
Any guns in the house?
Of course, there's probably going to be weapons in there, but we have only witnessed one firearm at this point.
Would this be a firearm that was someplace else or was in the vicinity of the victim?
Again, we do not know. We have not been able to ascertain that. Some of our issues are this. The elderly gentleman, which is the husband of our deceased, has some cognitive and physical deficits that have been very difficult in this case. So when we have tried to interview, it's been difficult to ascertain any sort of information.
What I'm saying when I say where's the vicinity of the gun, any chance this is a suicide or a murder-suicide attempt, anything like that? Or does this look like somebody, a third person came in and took a life?
No, I'm going to tell you that at this point we are still considering suicide or an accidental shooting, but we are treating this as a homicide investigation, as we cannot go backwards once we don't.
When you found these folks in there, could you tell now when they died, which I'm thinking is these people could have been in bed last night, or wait a minute, no, there was fresh coffee on the kitchen table, they'd been up. Can you tell ballpark when this happened, this morning, last night?
Well, obviously, time of death and things like that are going to be more on the coroner, but what I can tell you is it appears that they have been in there for at least a day, at least 24 hours. So I don't believe that anyone has been here since at least Friday evening.
They had been in there alive, or they'd been in there injured and dead?
Again, I only have one deceased. The male is not injured, but I would have to wait for the coroner to kind of help me with that. We haven't allowed the coroner to go in yet.
Well, what I'm trying to figure out is, you know, they've been in there one day, they've been in there, but they've been okay for one day, or you think this lady's been dead for longer than that?
I would assume, and we know what that means, but I would assume that there's been at least 24 hours.
And now, in this neighborhood, now if there's no signs of forced entry, does this necessarily ring a bell? Have there been any other incidents of burglaries or anything like that in this neighborhood?
No, nothing that would indicate that this has been anything other than, like I said, there's no forced entry. Nothing in the neighborhood that would indicate that there's any foul play just yet that would have occurred outside of this residence. Anything that we are suspecting right now, obviously, we're looking at the occupants within the residence. But of course, we have to keep the investigation wide. We have to look and see who's been coming in and out of the home as well.
Right. And was the door unlocked when you got here?
When we got here, yes, because the 911 caller was the daughter who has a key.
Okay. Do we know if she unlocked the door, or was the place wide open when she got here?
We do. She used her own key.
Okay, so it was locked.
Again, there was no forced entry and the house was secure.
Okay, and I'm assuming these folks have never had a problem before, break-ins, nothing like that?
Nothing at all.
All right, what else, at what point are you ready to release the names of the victims? or the folks involved here?
You know, I hope that we will be able to do that here within a couple of hours. I know that we had at least 3 family members here on scene, and they were making some notifications to some of the siblings that were out of state.
Okay, for my benefit, not for TV, how do I get an update from you? Got a phone number you want me to
I
call?
do. Are you ready?
You lay it on me.
317-716-5125.
All right, is there anything else I haven't asked you that folks need to know or understand?
No, I think that what everybody needs to be prepared for is this. We're going to be out here for a long time today. I mean, it's a scene in which we just take our time. You know, we have a long time to process, so they should just estimate that this road won't be open to the public for a bit. We're going to do our best to let the residents in and out as we go, but also expect that we'll be knocking on your door if you haven't answered us yet and seeing if you've heard or seen anything.
Any reason the folks around here should be worried the same thing's going to happen to them, or you think this is just an isolated situation at this address?
You know, at this time, I'm going to say that I think it's fairly isolated here at this address.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Do you guys see anything else?
Not at this time.
I think I rang you through the ringer several times. So this could be as simple as a suicide, or this could be.
And I think that the 2 occupants that were there, that's where the story is. But again, I won't rule it out. I mean, I know that we've had some home health care that's been in and out of here that, you know, we're going to have to look at.
I understand the man perhaps was not in his wheelchair and had to be helped back up to become.
Yeah, I believe so.